Russell and Kaz, before we get started, I'm just going to go through the little pre-meeting spiel, if that works for you guys.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Sure.
Max, really quickly, before you start that, I'm going to send you a message.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to apologize. I was mistaken. Barbara, you were co-chair.
But Russell,
Yeah.
the major
Yes,
so you were, but yes, now I am, but I'm going to be quiet today, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's what I know. That's what I noticed on a couple of things. One is one is another.
One is what?
One is Russell and one is you as co-chair.
Oh,
Barbara.
Yeah, I made a mistake on the e-blast. So now it's recorded and live streamed that I made a mistake. Everybody
And I made a mistake just now as well. So, all right, I will get into it now. So welcome everyone. If this is your first time joining us, everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting tonight, except co-chairs Barbara and Kaz and the presenters. Following the presentation, co-chairs will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by going to the reactions icon and pressing raise hand, not the wave or thumbs up or any other buttons. And please only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you're on the phone, it's *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. Please be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs call on you. The chat is for technical support only, to help with Zoom software problems and not to ask questions of the co-chairs. They will not see the chats. If you have an older version of Zoom, you may have to go to the raise hand, the participants feature at the bottom of your screen and click raise hand to participate. And finally, don't raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because the co-chairs might not be able to see.
thanks. Great.
Great. Okay, being 6:30 or 6:35, welcome to the February Environment and Sanitation Committee meeting. Over the years and months and everything, we've had quite a few complaints from the general public concerning the cleanliness of the streets and the sanitation pickup and anything in general. And tonight we have Marissa from DSNY, who will give us an update on what they're doing, what they intend to do, and how we can help as a community board and the public in general. So if we can have Marissa unmuted, and she has the floor.
Oh, yep, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Marissa Yanni. I'm the Manhattan Community Affairs Liaison for the Bureau of Community Affairs for the Department of Sanitation. But you can just call me Marissa. You don't have to say all that if you don't want to. So I was asked to speak about a couple of things. I'm going to give kind of brief overviews of the topics that I was asked to speak about, and then want to open it up for as many questions as possible. That way I know I can kind of get to what everyone's concerned about. So the first thing was street cleaning. Street cleaning is ongoing, and the alternate side parking rules are the same. They have been for a few months now, where it's the second day posted. So it won't be 2 or 3 times a week. It'll be the last day or second day posted. And if it's only 1 day a week, then it will still be that 1 day. So nothing really new to speak about with street cleaning. If anyone feels like there are areas that have not gotten the amount of love that they deserve, any streets that have not been cleaned, the mechanical broom has not been down there, please do let me know. You can tell Will later, you could tell me later in the evening, whatever works for you, and I'll make a note of that and make sure I send that over to the district as well. Next is enforcement. So with anything, our enforcement team is limited right now. Enforcement has also been assisting with open restaurants and things like that. So they've been assisting with that and still trying to catch up on DSMY enforcement for anything from nobody shovels in front of their home to illegal dumping, things like that. So enforcement is a little behind, but we are still issuing summonses and still working out there. The last thing, which I think might be on everyone's mind, is snow removal. So I'm just going to go kind of give an overview of what that process is for the Department of Sanitation. Some folks may not know, so just want to let you know what it is. So first would be we salt the streets, which I think is natural, kind of put the salt spreaders down. Once we see that there is some precipitation in the air and that first flake kind of comes down, that is when we will start to salt the streets. And you may sometimes see salt spreaders and plows hanging around, just kind of idling and sitting in different street corners. That's on purpose. That way they're in position and ready to go the second we get precipitation. So I know some people always ask me, why are they just sitting there? It's like, no, they have something to do. They're just waiting for it to snow, unfortunately. And then the plows are not sent out until there is at least about 2 inches accumulation of snow on the streets that you can clearly see. So when you just see it start snowing, there's not going to be plows out there yet. So I sent over Will a couple of FAQs about snow operations, this really great PDF. And if anybody wants it, Will does have it, so you can totally get it from him, totally fine, to send that out to everybody as you see fit. And then we start to plow the streets. And there are 3 types of streets, that how we've deemed them, for the routes. So first would be critical routes. So these are routes that are comprised of highways, arterial roadways, main travel thoroughfares, bus routes, and anything that can contain emergency services and first responder facilities and schools. Next would be sector routes. Those are designed to encompass all streets that are not classified as critical and are wide enough to accommodate a full-size DSMY truck. Holster routes are the third one. So these would be the third tier of streets that would be plowed. They're designed to serve as dead ends in streets that cannot be serviced with a collection truck or salt spreader with a plow attached due to a narrow street or kind of tight turning radius. So those would be plowed last. And I will say around my house alone, I have a critical, in front of my house, a sector on the side, and a holster behind me. So it's very funny how it all kind of works out that way. And then once we started doing the streets, once we started plowing the streets and taking care of that and the snow has stopped, then we move on to bike lanes, bus stops, and pedestrian areas. We use a lot of our snow laborers to assist with the bus stops and the pedestrian areas, and that's really where the kind of manual labor of actually shoveling out those areas takes place. And just to let people know, when the snowfall, depending on when the snowfall ends, is when you will need to start clearing a pathway in front of your home or business or your property. So if it ends between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m., you have to clear within 4 hours. If it ends between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., you have 14 hours. And if it ends between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m., you have until 11 a.m. to create a pathway for folks to walk. But everything that I said is in the 2 PDFs that I gave to Will. And again, he can send that over to everybody afterwards, whenever he sees fit. And when it comes to, so property owners are responsible to clear snow and ice, like I said, in front of their property and making a 4-foot wide path so that folks can walk and that it is safer to go on. And do note that we do plow, the plows push snow to the right always. So that's because in case if it's a 2-way street, you're not moving the snow into the left lane. And then even if it's a 1-way street, it will make left-hand turns very, very difficult if there is if there is just a mound of snow there. I know I speak very fast and I went over a few things, but I'm not sure if I touched on everything everybody wants me to touch on. So maybe we can open it up to any other questions or concerns, because it seems there's been some concerns in the district. So I want to make sure that I tackle everything I need to.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I forgot before. My name is Kai Spagnoletti, co-chair, along with Barbara Rudder, my other co-chair. Let's get questions from the public first before we take the board members. So if board members wish to raise their hand, if they could wait till we're done with the public. Thanks. Anybody from the public have questions for Marissa? Okay. I will leave my questions till last. Officer Rebecca Seawright. If we can unmute her.
Hi, Marissa. My name is Madison Thomas. I'm the constituent liaison at the office of Assemblywoman Rebecca Seawright. So our office, we've been getting a lot of calls and concerns regarding the trash pickup. I know with the recent snowstorms, there have been some delays with the trash, but it's more of the issue with trash bags on the sidewalk being left and being blatantly ignored. I know we have trash pickup on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, but coming into work, walking down York Avenue on 78th Street, there's like black garbage bags filled along the sidewalk, and I see the sanitation workers sitting in their cars, and I'm wondering why they're not picking up these certain trash bags. So a lot of constituents are concerned about the amount of trash that has been left, especially the days after trash pickup. And our office, since the new year has begun, we've sent at least like 2 letters to the Commissioner Grayson, and we haven't gotten a response. So we were hoping to address that in the 2 letters that we've sent to Commissioner Grayson. We've addressed this issue and we've asked for some type of response, but to alleviate the problem, but we haven't received one. So we were hoping that we could set something up with the commissioner. I know you said you're the community liaison. I can leave my email in the chat. We've reached out to a few of your colleagues in the past. Some of them were responsive, but we were just hoping to address this issue and have a conversation.
Yeah, a lot there. So one, I apologize that no one got back to you with those letters. I definitely would have possibly seen that because my office does do all the correspondence. So I apologize that you didn't get a response. I will make sure I give you my email address or however it works. You want to send me yours. We can deal with that, but definitely make sure you CC me on anything that comes through because I always look at everything and make sure it gets sent to the right folks. So I apologize for that lack of communication. That's not fair. So yes, there has been a lot of garbage on the streets. Believe me, we are not happy with it. It stinks. It does stink, literally. And it doesn't look great, 100%. With this amount of snow that we got in February, it has hit us pretty hard and we've had to do a lot of catch up. There's been a lot of backlog with it. And I know that's not a great answer, but that is the legit answer. Once we're in snow operations, clearing the snow, clearing roadways is our #1 priority. So that's the first thing that we tackle is clearing snow, the bike lanes, the bus stops, all of that, making sure that is done. And then it takes time to make those plows no longer plows and just make them collection trucks. So to take those plows off do take time and to do it with all the trucks that are really in the fleet per district garage. So there is definitely a time lapse with that and it does take some time. We have been out doing collection. We luckily haven't had any snow in the past few days, which is a really big win for us. So we have been out every day doing collection. Collection time has been off, I will say that. I've definitely seen it in my neighborhood as well. So it won't be, if normally people get picked up during the first shift or, the second shift, the 5 a.m. shift, sorry. It's been a little lag. So I do tell people to leave it out. We will get to it. We have the full 24 hours on the collection day to collect it. So you said you said Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So today would be a collection day.
Right.
Tomorrow, if you walk around and you still see garbage, like that we didn't collect everything for today, if you still see it, do let me know. And I'm going to look out for the letters as well from the Assemblywoman and see.
Yeah, I can resend them to you tomorrow. I would be happy to send those to you.
Great. That would be fantastic. That would be perfect. Do send me those. Yes, and we will do that. And I apologize for that lapse in communication. That's not fair. So I will get on top of that. So tomorrow, if you see anything, do let me know as well. And then I'll send it over to the district superintendent and speak with him and just see what's been missing, or kind of what, maybe if they have a holdup right now, that's a possibility, if they're, what that could be as well. And of course, if anyone in the district in the garage has COVID or is sick, they do have to clean the whole garage. So that does have a little bit more, that takes up time as well. So that means everybody kind of has to stop. We got to clean it out. It kind of shuts the garage down for some hours, possibly a full day. So just keeping that in mind as well. But yes, so I'll make sure I get you my email address so you can send me that information. Is that okay? Does that work with you? That was good next step.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Dope.
Terrific. That's 1 out of 1 we've got. Has anybody in the DSNY contracted corona, the COVID?
In the whole DSNY?
No, in the maintenance shops. As you said, they have to clean the whole shops.
Yeah, in the garages, yeah, they have. I can't tell you the last time someone did, but yes, they've had, since it started, since April, definitely we've had to shut down garages.
Okay. Next, we have Bet Cordova. If we can unmute Bet.
Thank you so much. And Marissa, thank you for having the snow off the streets. I live on First Avenue, and there was a great job done this year. So thank you again. My question is, I live near 92nd Street, and we keep hearing that 92nd between First and York is going to be made 2 ways for the garbage trucks to go to the transfer station. I was wondering if you had any updates on that, because we haven't seen any construction done in a while. Thank you.
1 second, I just need to write down. Can you just tell me that location one more time? I apologize.
It's on 92nd Street between First Avenue and York. So for some time, they said that the street was going to be 2 ways. So the garbage trucks can go one way and traffic can go another way. And we haven't seen any construction done in a while. At one point there was construction, but there hasn't been for some time. So we're just curious to know if there's anything more done about that, because a ramp was supposed to be built, a new ramp.
Okay, and that will be coming, so I want to make sure I got your question right. I will have to check on that for you, so I want to make sure I have all the information. So the ramp will be coming out of the Marine Transfer Station?
Yeah, there was supposed to be some new ramp built.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but would this be a DOT question or a DSNY question?
I thought it was DSNY and not a DOT. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
So on 92nd Street, yeah, I'm going to check on it for you regarding the ramp that's coming out of the Marine Transfer Station. But if it's physically changing the street itself from 1-way to 2-way, that might be DOT. But I can also check with my colleague at DOT, and I'll ask her as well. And
thank you very much.
Yeah. I'll find that out about that answer for you. My pen stopped working for a second, so give me a second. But yes, 92nd between First and York, 1-way street becoming a 2-way street, and the ramp coming out of the Marine
special ramp. Yes.
Got it. You got it.
Terrific. Thank you. We will now go to Valerie.
Thanks, Kaz. And I guess, Marissa, I'm on Community Board 8, but I'm really talking to you in my capacity as the president of the East 72nd Street Neighborhood Association. And I want to talk about the public trash cans that are along 2nd and 1st Avenue. And unfortunately, I wish I could say that this was a problem that was due to snow and snow removal, but I have to say that I don't understand what the methodology is with respect to pickup of the garbage from the public cans. They are constantly overflowing. They are never closed after the bins are actually, when the trash is put into they're just thrown to the side and nobody closes them up. And we have a constant problem with trash just being everywhere. The cans are open, and for the life of me, I look at these DSNY trucks and none of them have a broom on them. And I don't understand how these guys are supposed to, and I don't see many sanitation women, so I'm using the term guys. I don't see how the inside of these cans gets cleaned if no one even has a broom. So they take the bin out, they don't even clean the inside of the can, and they throw the thing back in. They don't close it, and it's a mess. And it's been constant, and it's not just a situation that has started, in the last 3 months. It has been more than a year, and I don't understand what is happening.
Okay. Can you, so when you say First and Second Avenue, do you have any cross streets? So I can add it to my
I can
notes.
tell you it's at least from 72nd to 86th Street, and I'm sure it goes beyond. Barbara is shaking her head. Yes, she agrees with me.
Going to be asking very similar questions, Valerie.
And I've sent pictures of the cans to Will and to numerous people, and it was in the spring and summer. It's unfortunately all the time. And I don't know if it's a design flaw in the cans that you guys have bought and how you've decided to pick them up or whatever. But between, the people who are raiding the cans at night to take out the cans, the little, soda cans or whatever, and I don't understand how you can have these plastic bins inside these metal cans with no way to clean the plastic bin. It's not like the guys bring new plastic bins and then clean them and put them back. It just seems like it's not a system that works, and I don't understand it.
Can I add to Valerie? So
Sure.
what they do is they don't put the plastic bin all the way in.
Yes.
So people go and they throw the garbage where they're supposed to in the hole on top, and it falls on the floor because the bin isn't where it's supposed to be. And it was before COVID, but it's made worse because it's these disgusting masks and gloves that you find there that are sort of creepy to have around.
I got to tell you, I walk around a lot just closing the door of these cans and, kicking the can in with my foot and closing the door. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer for you.
Well,
So-
I wish you could come back and tell us what the methodology is for cleaning. And can you also explain why none of these DSNY trucks have any kind of broom?
They're supposed to have brooms. I have seen brooms on the side. I will check as to why the trucks in this district do not have brooms on the side, but they all are supposed to have brooms on the side to clear up any spillage and to put and to clean up after a block has been serviced. So I will check on that for you. We have had problems on 86th Street, specifically on the east side. And I've actually brought this up to the district superintendent about this, of the doors being left open. He has told his crew and all the personnel to make sure that they close the door. That has been put out to all of them as well.
They're not doing it.
They are not doing it. And it's
Understood.
all along Second Avenue.
Yep.
Second Avenue, First Avenue. It's every day. If you go out there tonight, you see it. The people who actually go through the cans to take out the aluminum cans, they actually close the doors. So they cannot be blamed because I've seen them. But I've seen the guys emptying these cans, and they just, as Barbara says, they don't even put them all the way back into their containers. I just think, twofold. We need to fix this problem on the ground now, but I think that DSNY needs to evaluate the kinds of cans that they're buying. Because they just don't work.
We were supposed to have a rollout of new cans that came out last spring, but then the pandemic hit and we got massive budget cuts. So we were unable to go through with that contract and continue. That was put on hold. But yes, I will speak with the district superintendent and with the borough chief for Manhattan and speak about this and see if there is another kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, kind of checks and balances to make sure that those are closed properly and practically locked as best as they can be with the design. A lot of them have broke. So if that does happen, we'll have to swap them out. So just have to see if that is the issue, that it's not closing because it's broken, the latch or whatever it may be, to that extent. So I will check on that for you. I'm sorry I won't have a better answer for you today or tomorrow, but I will check in with the superintendent and the Manhattan Borough Chief.
Can I add one more from what was said.
Always.
It's also when they throw the garbage in the garbage pail that some of it must be other, because all of a sudden you see a lot of garbage there that didn't make it into the garbage truck.
Understood.
They probably
Okay.
just throw it.
Okay.
Valerie,
There's a
you
lot of
agree with
spillage.
me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I made a note of spillage as well. I'll let
It goes
them know.
way above 86th Street, that Valerie, come on up my way, to 87th Street, you'll see it.
Well, thank you, Marissa. As long as you're on it, it doesn't have to be
thank you.
answered tomorrow, but it is a real problem up here. Thank you.
Yes, I will bring that back without a doubt, without a doubt.
Thanks, Valerie. Alida, can we unmute Alida?
Thanks, Kaz. On a different subject, I'm wondering who's responsible for picking up and cleaning up dog poop. I've noticed a lot more of it in the middle of the street, in front of store entrances, just everywhere.
Dog poop is up to the pet owner. They have to clean that up.
Well, they're not. So in lieu of the pet owner, who's supposed to be responsible? Because it's actually a health hazard, as I'm sure we're all familiar with. And there just seems to be much more of it now than there used to be.
So depending on where it is, that would be up to the property owner. Property owner needs to clean from their property line, then 18 inches into the street. If the dogs are using the bathroom in the middle of the street, where it's out of the 18-inch range, then that is a very unsafe place to walk your dog. But no,
Right.
that would not be us. And the street sweeper could get it, but I mean, again, in the middle of the street, that wouldn't happen, but it would be up to the property owner to clean the area then.
It's not in the street where the cars are. It's on the sidewalk. It's often in the middle of the sidewalk. It's clearly where people are walking, and they're not, the owners are not picking it up. It's not like there's a little smear. There are big pieces and stepped in a lot. It's a mess, and it smells, and as the weather gets warmer, it's going to be worse. So if the shop owners and the landlords are supposed to be responsible, do they know that?
Yes, because they need to clean that whole area regardless of what is there. We do a lot of business outreach and let people know if you think that's necessary to do residential or business outreach, to let folks know they have to clean the front of the property. That's something I can totally arrange. If you want to give me any residents, addresses for them to receive a summons, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So totally up to you how you would, what you would like me to do.
It's very variable, and it's up to the chairs of the committee, but I personally feel that maybe there's not enough outreach. It just is, it makes me a little bit crazy because it is so smelly and so dirty. And if you get it stuck on your shoe, you know, because we all have before they changed and had the pooper scooper law. It just seemed that compliance with that law has really dropped. But I don't want to take up more time. Thank you.
No, we could totally do the chairs, and Will, just let me know. I can totally go out there. I've done it recently, actually, on the Upper West Side, on the other side of the island, to talk about residential garbage, to do some outreach, bring stuff over to residents, and I can do business outreach as well. So just let me know if that's what you would like me to do. You will obviously talk amongst yourselves, but let me know. Just send me the word, and I'll pick a day, and I'll go out there. If you want to come with me, more than welcome to. We can hang out, whatever you want to do.
Thank you. There is an appeal to that. Thanks a lot.
But Marissa, isn't the problem...
if I can jump in real quick, I see there's a member of the public that's raising her hand to the camera. Julia, should we quick go to her?
Yeah, let's go to her then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Julia.
Thanks. I realize that the ongoing snow conditions have made it very difficult to pick up garbage. Because in fact, on the side streets in the 90s where you have townhouses, the people, don't get rid of the snow that's from the sidewalk into the street. So it's hard for me to visualize how garbage is even picked up. But without there being snow, I have to agree with whomever it was that was speaking. In general, over the years, I have observed that the garbage trucks almost inevitably leave some traces of garbage behind. And I don't know if I can ever remember seeing anybody ever do any sweeping with brushes. That's what I would like to comment on. And I've been on 92nd and Park for years, and it wasn't like that. I mean, and it's always been like that in all the streets, side streets that I walk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll bring that back to the superintendent as well. See about spillage and how we're cleaning that up.
Well, getting back to the brooms and the spillage, if it's on the private or the building's garbage, isn't the building responsible for cleaning up after DSNY collects? It's not DSNY, is it?
We should be, if there is any spillage, we should be cleaning that up. If we're servicing the block and we throw the can in, you know, whatever, we throw the bag in, a little bit comes out, we should be collecting that. Now, if, you know, hours go by, if we had missed it or didn't see it, whatever the case may be, then someone just walks by and sees that, they can submit a 311 complaint, and that resident can receive a summons for that, for having a dirty sidewalk. So it is a bit of a partnership. As we always say, we need the public's help along, you know, with the work we do to help us keep the city clean. So that's, yeah, it's kind of like we're blaming someone else for our mess, but we're supposed to clean up the spillage 100%, because you can actually submit a complaint if we do not clean up the spillage.
Okay, let's go to Jordan.
Hi, Marissa. Thank you so much for coming. Some of the stuff that's been described could be videoed with a telephone. Do you have any comment on that? Maybe send those to you. How does that work?
I'm sorry, I had a motorcycle going by. If you have video of some of these conditions, you're saying?
If one were to make a video of the crew emptying from the street basket, but not pushing the container back in or not shutting the door, would that be an acceptable thing to forward?
Yeah, you could definitely forward that to me. That wouldn't be a problem. Then I could send that over to, then I would have a physical, you know, we have like a paper trail, as you would say, to give that over to the Manhattan Borough Chief and just let them know what's happening. Maybe, you know, maybe hopefully that would be a one-time thing that happened, but I could definitely send that over to them and let them know, like, hey, you know, we need to correct this, or maybe this person needs a little more training. Without a doubt, that's never a problem. You're the public, you see something happening. That's why I'm here. You're supposed to let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Faith. And Faith is on the, did you have another question?
Hi, this is Faith Fraser. I live at 72nd and 2nd. So I too want to echo what Valerie said, especially about the corner trash can on 2nd Avenue, especially the one on that northeast corner. I also want to say thank you for plowing the snow. And coincidentally, I actually saw a sanitation worker sweep this morning because my apartment faces 73rd between 1st and 2nd. And apparently something broke because I heard all this noise. This was like around 10 o'clock, I think. And I went over to the window and there's something glass shattered. I'm not sure how it happened, but the cars were yelling and screaming at the guy. Really, it was pretty over the top. But I saw him with my own eyes, and I think I have a video of it, of him actually sweeping up the broken glass. Marissa, my question actually is about the restaurants that are doing the outside houses or whatever you want to call it on a side street as small as that. I don't know how they are able to pick up the garbage and deal with that. Do you have a comment on that?
So you're saying when there's outdoor dining, how do we get the trucks down to pick up the garbage?
No, what I actually meant was with the proliferation of all these extra structures on the side streets. I mean, there's a restaurant on the corner of East 73rd and 2nd Avenue, and now they have expanded twice into the 73rd Street, and I can see that that's where the garbage comes out. I mean, maybe this is not your call, but are the restaurant owners told to be careful or something? Because I can imagine that these trucks are going to start hitting these outside whatever they're called, little houses or extension of the restaurants.
So honestly, I have received no complaints, and I also monitor our social media account. I have not seen anything where a garbage truck has hit a outdoor dining structure. Only once, well, because of the snow, so the plow hit the side of it, but we do tell restaurant owners to bring in as much as they can when there's precipitation or storm warning or anything like that. But no, other than that, it's been regular day-to-day, regular operations as usual. We have not hit, I don't know how, we have not hit any of the outdoor dining structures. I have not.
No, I don't think that you have. I'm saying, are the restaurant owners, and that's why I'm not sure if it's this committee, being made aware of the increasing structures, how they're affecting the garbage pickup?
No, we've done outreach to the restaurant owners in the beginning when we started with the outdoor dining structure, when the open restaurants started, to let them know, when they get the clearances from DOT, how big it's going to be and the actual specs of it, but where then they need to put their garbage and how we can service it.
Okay. But I also wanted you to know, in case you hear complaints about East 73rd Street between 1st and 2nd this morning, I thought that the sanitation worker actually held his cool pretty well while these people were literally yelling and screaming at him.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was
Was
Valerie one of those persons screaming at sanitation?
No, she's on the 72nd Street side. I was looking out the window on the No.
I know. Lynn.
Marissa, thank you for coming today. We really appreciate it. And what my question is in reference to is how the budget cuts are affecting what I'll call the zero waste kind of initiatives in the city, so that, they're supposed to be separating garbage and they're supposed to be doing those kinds of things. And I was hoping the city would move toward doing greater and greater amounts of food scrap restoration for composting. But from what I'm hearing, it's those areas that in the budget cuts have got cut back. Could you talk about that and maybe give us a grade where we are right now with the garbage separating during the pandemic?
So when it came to the budget cuts, our Bureau of Recycling and Sustainability, which is where the zero waste programs are coming from, probably got the most cuts out of anybody. They got the short end of that stick. A lot of the team was actually redirected, and they're now working on the Get Food NYC program, where we bring meals are delivered to CLC workers, drivers to residents. So they a lot of them have been working on that full time, and not even the sustainability work that they were working on before. So yeah, we had to close a lot of the compost drop-offs. We can only really do those if we have partner organizations to do it. On our website, we do have a list of some of the compost drop-off sites that are still open. There is no compost collection. There's no collection truck doing compost. That's not happening at all. That will be collected as regular garbage. That started back in the spring. I've not heard of any, no communication has come down of anything being reinstated as of yet for any of those programs, unfortunately. Very slowly have some of those drop-off sites have been opening up. But again, I think that's because of our partner organizations that we work with, and like Green Markets and some of those folks that have been fantastic in helping with that. So the only really separation that's happening is recycling and garbage. You have the recycling truck and then the garbage truck, and that's it. That's the only separation we've been having as of now.
Okay, thanks. So what I'm hearing is kind of that these things, once we have to wait till we get past the pandemic and hopefully back to some normal budgeting before we can revisit some of these zero waste projects. Is that correct?
I would say, yeah. So a lot of everything was halted until next July, until this July 1st, when the new budget will come out. I don't know what the mayor or what the city council is going to do. They might give us money to do these programs and anything else, but a lot of funding was redirected for pandemic reaction work. So I do not know. I have not been told yet. I don't know who would know besides the mayor and Speaker Johnson. So we're gonna have to wait, but fingers crossed, we're hoping with the new budget, we get a little something to bring back some of the programming that we've had.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Mhm.
Thank you. Let's go to Andrew. Andrew Fine.
Hello, thank you for taking my question. I'm wondering, I had a couple of questions actually, and sanitation is sort of my jam, so pardon me for asking a couple. First of all, I'm wondering, Sunday pickups of corner garbage cans on the Upper East Side, specifically towards East 86th Street and the surrounding area, were purportedly cut off with the funding cuts, and it's evident in the streets. I'm wondering, have any of those pickups been restored, or are we just kind of out of luck?
No, that has not been restored Sunday or holiday pickup. I can double check on that. It just takes me a while to read through all the spreadsheets that I get looking up the corner basket schedule, but I can check on what the actual schedule is for District 8, if that is helpful to you. But as of right now, there is nothing for Sunday or holidays, and there is nothing nobody's telling me that that's going to come back unless we get more, more in the budget.
What would be required to get those back? Because as of those cuts, we've seen a significant amount of increase in overflowing garbage cans that like overflow for days.
What would it take to, that is above my pay grade. I think it would just be more funding, unfortunately. A lot of community boards and elected officials have written letters to the commissioner, former Commissioner Garcia and now current Commissioner Grayson, about reinstating for more pickups for corner baskets. And the answer has always been the same, that there's just no money in the budget for us to do that. We have reinstated some pickup for Manhattan. Adding another day or two. Again, I'll have to check on the schedule and I can get that and send it over to Will so that you all have that information just to see exactly what it is, but it's not what it was. So
well, I believe that East 86th Street is among the 15 most transited streets in Manhattan. Mm-hmm. And we're certainly seeing the ill effects of not having pickups on Sunday or holiday. On another topic, I'd like to ask, what is the Department of Sanitation doing to multitask? When it snows, we have no trash pickup. We have piles and piles of garbage, both corner cans and also recycling, regular garbage from buildings. We have like piles of garbage that last for days, often like over a week. And does the Department of Sanitation have any plan whatsoever to remedy this situation? I mean, last I checked, New York was a first world city. However, I don't think a first world city has garbage sitting out on the street for 6 or 8 days at a time. And I'm wondering if the Department of Sanitation has any plan whatsoever to, whether through overtime or other solutions, and perhaps you can offer a solution to pick up garbage and plow snow at the same time. It happens in Northern European cities all the time. It happens in Canada. I know they can handle it. How can New York City handle both snow removal and garbage at the same time?
So right, currently we don't.
I'm sorry, that's a loaded question.
It is only because, again, of my pay grade that I just don't have an answer for that question.
We're going to have to pay you a lot more and maybe get some answers.
Well, but wait a minute. Before we go any further, Marissa can be the honorary commissioner tonight, so she is in that pay grade.
That's amazing. This is where
congratulations.
We'll invite her. No, so right, correct. I do see that a lot of other countries are able to perform these tasks. That's just currently not in our scope. It's just not what the plan is, what the operations team has created for the Department of Sanitation. It is where recycling and garbage collection is put on hold and snow plowing and salt spreading is made priority number one. And we do let folks know that collection will be delayed and or suspended depending on the day of the storm, and kind of urge people not to put their garbage out. If you know it's going to snow on the Monday and your normal day is Monday, don't put it out. But again, I have not received any communication that we will be changing that. I think we were really tested this past month. I think you all have seen that and maybe tweeted about it, that we've been tested a lot by this month and what our capabilities are. So maybe that's more communication needs to be sent to the commissioner. I'm happy to bring this up. I know may not go super far, but if the committee or the community board want to write a letter or send some official communication to the commissioner and to other department heads, I think you're totally within your right to do that and let them know that there needs to be a better plan. I agree a bit, there probably does need to be a better plan, because we really saw the impact of what happens when it snows more than one day a week. We got a lot of snow this month, and we were really tested.
Right, and I was going to ask you if you would just possibly agree with me that we should be able to handle both sanitation and snow removal simultaneously in the greatest city in the world. Final question, is there any plan whatsoever, or could you make a plan to go out and survey the jumbo green spill-proof garbage cans, of which probably a quarter have like broken handles, and go out and figure out which ones have broken handles and fix them so the doors aren't swinging open and the garbage is not flying all over the place? And I thank you for your time.
I will have to see if those type of surveys, the district will do that. We normally will respond to any 311 requests or any calls that come in to say that they're broken, and then we'll see. The district will then get a list of which ones are on the list to be swapped or to be fixed, because you can't. The way the fixing of the parts go, it's very strange, from what I understand. So I'll have to see if there is an official survey that gets done, although I'm afraid if I say anything, I'll be the one to do it, but I'm up to the task. But I will bring that back to the district and to the borough chief as well to see what that process is. I personally do not know. Is that okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I would ask the Department of Sanitation to survey their own garbage cans to make sure that they're functional.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Anybody else from the public or board members?
If nobody else, I will ask questions if that's okay.
Yep, go Barbara.
86th Street, Andrew, you're doing a great job on 86th Street, but it's still very dirty and there's so many empty stores and makes it worse because there isn't a store to clean up with any regularity. One of the issues is the overflowing cans. Years ago, we had a meeting and they did add more cans. I don't know if it's merely because they don't have enough pickup or less cans are there. Can we increase the cans? Would they help with that? Andrew, it's when you organize your volunteer group that we have a clean 86th Street. And I very much appreciate it since I live on 87th Street. And thank what's being done on 86th Street. But there is a problem. It is extremely, the garbage is definitely there. It is a major thoroughfare. It is one of our major shopping areas in the I think it's the major shopping area in the Upper East Side. It has more and more residential, which means there's more and more garbage that's involved. The subway has added an elevator, which is used up room, which means there's less room for other type of stuff. And it really should be taken care of as not only are we a world-class city, but we should make 86th Street a world-class street also in the Upper East Side. And I wonder if you have any comment about that. And then I have a second comment I want to make. Marissa.
That question to Andrew, Barbara?
Well, it's to Andrew if you have anything to add or if you agree with me.
I would add that the East 86th Street Association has advocated for increased pickups, which we did see through Catherine Garcia, which were terrific, and she was very responsive. We had, as part of our streetscape plan that was approved over 10 years ago,
Yes.
to include mid-block garbage cans.
Mm-hmm.
And they were installed, I believe it was about 2 years ago. And the Department of Sanitation quickly ripped them out within 10 days because A, they were non-compliant with the unions, and B, they were mid-block and the Department of Sanitation refused to pick up mid-block. And we've been battling ever since to try to remedy that situation with very, very, well, there's zero success. The totality of our success was to engage merchants and buildings to volunteer to pick up on the street, and also to have a local council member send the Wildcats out to clean up mid-block. But to date, we are still struggling with sanitation, and especially given the course of the pandemic, it's been a bit of an uphill slog. But we do appreciate at least the efforts of the Wildcats to get out there and clean up, and businesses like Chick-fil-A, for instance, that volunteered to clean up their corner and around to the bus stop in front of the vacant children's place. So like I said, we're battling, we're fighting,
mm-hmm.
And hopefully this year is a better year than last.
I wonder, Kaz, if we should have some resolutions. Sunday pickup would be one. Okay, you didn't hear more.
Yeah, let's hear more. Do you have any other questions, Barbara?
No, it's just I'd like to see something more.
Yeah, we can do that, definitely. Marissa, with more so with the snow, what I'm finding, and it seems to be getting a bit better at certain places, is the corners. When you get the melt, the snow and the slush builds up. It has nowhere to go, and people are walking halfway. Some of them are walking halfway down the block to basically get over the cross. Would it be possible to have the corner buildings clear that area?
Corner buildings are supposed to clear that area. We assist with doing pedestrian walkways and crosswalks. But again, we do that after the streets, after the bike lanes. But whoever's property, like how you clean, 18 inches in, if there's snow in front of your property, you're supposed to clear it. I live in a corner house, and I'm supposed to clear the crosswalk that's in front of my home, right? And all the way down the side. Anything where my property touches it, that's what I'm supposed to clear. So
Okay.
whoever's on that corner is supposed to clear the crosswalk.
Yeah, but a lot of the time they don't. Who clears the sidewalks? The pedestrian area just past the bike lane, more so that area between the bike lane and the street. And then on Park Avenue, the cross between the up and down, the two-way. Normally what you find is people walking in the street because there's always a snow build-up in that area. Who cleans that out?
That's like you mean the median that's in the middle of Park Avenue, like that thing?
Yeah, well, that, and also the crosswalk between just past the bike lane and the sidewalk, that 10, 15 foot gap where people cross the avenue.
Department of Sanitation is responsible for cleaning those pedestrian crosswalks and areas. So if you see that they're not done, do let me know. I will admit I have not worked in the district garage. I am not a uniformed officer worker, so I've never worked in a garage and know what the full extent of the process is. But if you ever invite me back again, I will make sure that I have someone that does know those answers. So I apologize, I don't know the full process, but it is on the list of things to do, is to clear those crosswalks with the snow laborers.
And then there was an article of some council members were looking to get some small plows to fit some bike lanes and the crosswalks and all that, but that was denied for some reason. Do you know anything about that?
Is that the Councilmember Kalos? Excuse me.
Yes.
When he wants to buy, through participatory budgeting, he wants to buy those little, the snow plows.
Right.
I do not know what the official answer was. I only saw what he tweeted out and what he said about it. But if it's not our official, equipment, then we're not using it. But I will have to see if there's another reason why we did not accept that equipment.
Okay. Because the Parks Department has a lot of those small ones for all the pathways in Central Park, don't they?
Yes, I believe the Parks Department, yes, they do in order to go into the parks. And they also do the side of the parks, the sidewalk around the park as well. I've seen them use it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What about more outreach to the building and the public with the Adopt-A-Can that seems to have fallen by the wayside these days? Are you promoting that to any extent?
Yeah, whenever we go out to do any business outreach, obviously we haven't done a ton because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. My office, most of us weren't even in the office from March to July. So there's only 2 people in the office, so that really wasn't happening. But if there is a corridor or a few, blocks or whatever it may be that you think this outreach needs to happen, just let me know exactly where. And specifically, if you just want to adopt a basket, you also want information about what responsibilities business owners have, and then maybe residents, we were talking about that as well. Just let me know exactly what you want, and I'll go out there and let them know.
And what about outreach to bids? And because you mentioned the manual labor, I mean, to get the DSNY manual workers to clear the bus stops and the crosswalks and that, can you have private contractors during the snow time, just, for a 10, 20 block area, and they're always close by ready to clean up? It would be an extra expense to some extent, but it would only be, 3-4 times a year or something.
I would have to see about contracting out. We do have on our website where you could sign up to be a snow laborer and to do for contractors, folks that have trucks as well to assist. But I need to see, I believe that was put on hold right now with the pandemic. So I have to check in on that.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have any other questions? Barbara, you wanted to resolution?
Yeah, I'd like a resolution to all the whereases, and Andrew, if you would like to add to it, to say we would like to reinstate Sunday and holiday pickup to alleviate the overflowing baskets that are causing garbage in our streets.
And the broken
and the
can.
Second resolution, or maybe as part of it, to say, and also to make sure that the baskets that are there are fixed so that they're properly closed.
Do we have a second on that? I'll second it then. Alida, Andrew, did you have another question, comment?
No, I just wanted to say I support that 100%, even though I have no vote. Please and thank you.
Thank you. Alida, you had your hand up, or was that to second?
It was to second, but if no one has any comments, Russell does. I was going to call the question.
Okay, Russell. Russell seconds. Yeah, okay. Okay. So I guess the usual, if you're for it, there's nothing to do. If you vote against it, raise your hand. And otherwise, Max, can we have a count of the members?
Sure, absolutely. Are you ready?
Yep.
Sure. So we have Barbara, Kaz, Ed, Lynn, Marco, Russell, Alida,
Valerie,
Craig, and Valerie. Yes.
Great.
Did I miss anyone? I think we got it.
Is Valerie still here?
Yeah, actually, I'm not seeing Valerie now that I.
No, she's not here.
Huh.
Alida, Craig, Ed, Lynn, Marco, Russell, Kaz, and Barbara. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have any other comments on DSNY?
Thank you.
Now, what about monitoring for the MTS, Marissa? Is that your kettle of fish, or can you give us some update on that, or what's the, because I know for many years people have been asking for more monitoring, more measurement. I think currently it's twice a year, which a lot of people think is not enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is very, very much out of my wheelhouse. I did have a meeting, I think a couple of months ago, where I came to this committee, and you guys had some fantastic questions, and I had literally no answers. So no, I apologize. I will not be able to answer any questions regarding the marine transfer stations. That is another department, and that information does not really come across the hall to me like that. It's just out of my day-to-day operations. I apologize.
Okay. Does anybody from the public or board members have any comments that what we could do, what we should do, and what Marissa should do?
Marissa could go across the hall and get somebody to come to one of our meetings.
We have tried. I apologize. Will did ask the
Right.
chiefs that are in charge of solid waste management. They were unavailable tonight to come. I have not seen them in the office. Their shifts have changed lately, and I think they're now on the overnight shift. So I will have to see who I see tomorrow when I go in. But I don't think I'm doing it at the same time as some folks.
But ultimately, DSNY has control of the MTS and the monitoring and everything else, don't they? I mean, it's your building.
Correct.
But a different department.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All I know is correct. Yeah, I apologize. I don't know the first thing about the marine transfer stations, except that we dump off the garbage there.
Yeah.
And then we send the trucks back to the district garages. I apologize. That's a very specialized unit. What they know, it's just out of my wheelhouse, and I apologize.
No, then thank you very much.
And can I ask a question that maybe you do know? Are the number of trucks what you expected, or is it much less than? Is it much less used than you expected? You would know, I guess, the number of trucks that actually dump there.
I would not know the number of trucks, but from what I hear, it is the same amount of trucks have been going in and out. It has not been less because of the pandemic.
No, not because of the pandemic, but less than what was assumed. What was it, 7-8 years ago when this was conceived?
Oh,
conceived, some of us may say, but
that I don't know. It might be less tonnage. They get the tonnage amounts at the end of the day that I hear them call out, but not the same number of trucks. Same number of trucks have been going out into the district and then going to the marine transfer station, because those are the same truck. You know, they have to do their route. They have specialized routes. How much garbage they're picking up may have changed than what was forecasted for this year.
Okay. I just came up with another one for you, Marissa. Boxes, cardboard boxes. The law is that they should be flattened or they're in a visible bag. Why isn't it that they must be crushed or folded, which would take a lot less space on the sidewalk? Because sometimes you walk around and you see, you know, the whole half a dozen sidewalk with a box in a bag when it could have taken up about, you know, a third or 1/10 of the area if it had been flattened. Is that a law, or can that be changed that all cardboard must be flattened?
That is not a law. It is just that the cardboard has to be folded and it could be tied together or put in a clear plastic bag with other like materials, like other cardboard material like that. So it is not a law that correct, that it has to be flattened and made to the smallest size and broken down, as some folks do. You have the choice to either put it however you can in the bag, or flattened and tied together with other cardboard boxes.
So what would be involved in making sure the buildings flatten it to take up a lot less space?
Enforcement could come out, and if it's a sidewalk obstruction, if you think you can't get down the block and it's a sidewalk obstruction, enforcement could come out to issue a summons for that. And also maybe just speaking with the building owners, any of the property owners, to let folks know that this is in the way, the way they're throwing out their garbage. But that would just be outreach. You know, I wouldn't be able, I can't give a summons for that. But if it's obstructing the sidewalk, or you think it's improperly disposed, if you see that it's in a plastic bag and it's also, you know, it's cardboard and also Chinese food, you know, containers and other sorts of things that don't, well, that might, but, you know, glass bottles and regular garbage, then we can issue a summons for that, for not recycling properly, but not for how it's being, you know, disposed.
Yeah, a lot of it is, you know, I see in a bag, but I'm seeing, you know, 10, 20 bags when it could have been one bag type of thing. I'm just trying to think of if it could be an outreach from DSNY to the buildings.
Yeah, you can add that to the list of other things you want me to do for outreach. You know, just let me know exactly what you would like and what, you know, if you have any specific blocks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do the whole district in an afternoon, but, you know, I'm willing to try. You just let me know, you know, exactly what outreach is needed and if possible, where as specific as possible. And then over, you know, it could be a whole week. I just spent a whole week in District 8 and just hanging out and talking to folks. That's whatever you would like. It's totally fine by me.
Terrific. Thank you.
I have another quick question. I'm sorry, Kyle, you want to finish?
No, go on.
Those structures, the outdoor dining structures, which department is that under? Who is in control of saying what's legal and not legal and so on?
That would be the Department of Transportation.
Okay, so it's not sanitation. Okay.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, not us. We help with enforcement. We started doing that back in the spring and probably the summer and the fall, just to assist because DOT didn't have a lot of inspectors. So we were assisting with that. But DOT sets out all the guidelines. So if you want those, you know, those parameters, I think that's on their website as well.
So the ones that are enclosed that are really not, you know, it's supposed to be open structure on the street. The ones that are enclosed, that's under DOT to monitor?
Yep, okay. All under DOT.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Alida? Can we unmute Alida?
Thank you. I'm just, I'm concerned about with the increase in garbage, the broken garbage cans, that the restaurant outdoor space, that stores and restaurants don't really pack up their garbage in a completely locked up way, that as the weather warms up, we're going to see an increase in rats. And we know that the city has really cut back on the rat patrols and the rat, whatever they do to diminish the ranks of rats. And now they're not doing that either. So is there any kind of plan to protect the city from rodents and other assorted life forms that we don't really want?
I could not speak to rats because that will be the Department of Health. So I cannot say what their plan is moving forward and kind of what their strategy is to assist with that. The first thing they start to blame, of course, is the garbage. So making sure that folks are putting garbage out outside of when snow time comes, you know, the least amount of time as possible before pickup is. Like that, and storing it in, not just putting the bags on the corner, but putting them in receptacles and bins. DOH does have these really awesome bins they give away for free sometimes, which is as rat proof as possible. So I would not say there is a strategic plan to stop the rats, but we're trying to, you know, DSNY is trying to pick up the garbage as quickly as possible. Again, outside of the snow, I understand the garbage was piling up for a few weeks, not our finest moment, but we are trying to collect all that back up again and again and make sure we stay on top of that. And for restaurant owners, they need to put it out as close to their pickup time as possible to when their private carter is coming. So if the private carter isn't coming until midnight and they put it out at 2 p.m., That's a lot of hours for it to be sitting there and for more people to dump on top of it. So restaurants need to do their part and put it out as close as possible to when their pickup time is.
Well, I'm thinking of a Starbucks on Lexington that's not really very good at that. And also, isn't there any coordination between sanitation and health so that something like this could be looked after? I can't be the only one that sees marauding rats and is concerned about it. And maybe instead of not picking up on Sunday, which is a day when a lot of people, even in the pandemic and even people working from home, it's the day the weekend that people are out. Maybe they could not pick up on a Tuesday, for instance, or a Monday, for instance, so they get all the weekend trash. They overflow, as everyone has said tonight and previously. So it's really, because I've seen rats even in the winter just playing around and running in and out of buildings. It's very disconcerting. But thank you.
Yeah.
Marissa, I thought the rat patrol or whatever that department is came under DSNY.
Oh, no. The pest control unit is part of the Department of Health. They have they have coordinators, and they have outreach teams that go out. They do presentations, they do the rat academies, and they also have inspectors that go out. If you say that this address, there are rats, they'll go out there, see what the situation is, tell folks how to abate the rats and kind of what they should do. If they still don't comply, they come back. They have a whole process for assisting with the rats, but that's all under DOH. They are still going out. I have seen them a few times going out. I've done a couple of joint walkthroughs with DOH and the pest control units, but I do not know their full capacity with that unit and how often they're going out. But you can submit anything through the rat portal and through the Department of Health and let them know where you see rat activity so that they can assist and see what the issue is. And maybe the homeowner, the property owner doesn't know that there's rats, let's say, and they can be helpful that way.
No, we've had them a couple of times over the past few years, and they're very, very helpful. Thank you. Anybody else have anything else before we wrap up? Okay, seeing no, Matt. You had your hand up?
No, I don't think I did. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So with that, we will close out. Thank you all for attending, and we will hope to see you next month.
Right. Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you so much for having me. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, hold it. Is there a Wendy?
I just asked her to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I wanted to quickly say, because we've brought this issue up in previous meetings about monitoring air quality, and I sent Will earlier today. We've talked about the expense. I think the city had mentioned a figure well over $1 million or $2 million to monitor in our area. But if you actually go on Amazon, we could install some monitors ourselves and involve schools in actually gathering the data and reporting for our own view. I do not have a modern app on my very ancient iPhone, but my kids do, and we often see that the air quality is unacceptable. And I sent an email to Will, who will thank you, Will, for putting that in the chat. The link just to I'm not wed to Amazon. It was just an easy search to do. And perhaps we could set up some kind of program within CB8 so that we can have our own data to see what's happening with air quality, because it's a major health issue, and we don't have heavy industry here. There's no excuse for this. So let's see what's happening and get actual data.
Thank you. Will, if you can send that information out to, if we can post it on the website too, if people are interested in purchasing or doing something for the air quality. Okay, anybody else? Okay, with that, we will close out the meeting. Thank you one and all for attending, and hope to see you in March.